Namaste students, welcome to statistics class. Now, so far we completed 3 applications under large sample test. Once again I repeat, we are discussing about statistical inference. In statistical inference there are 4 units. First unit it's about all theories and second unit is about large sample test and third one small sample test and the last one t-test. Now we are discussing of large sample test. In that large sample test, further it has 4 applications. First one test for population mean, second one test for equality of means of two population. Now first only mean we test for mean, then second application where mu1 and mu2 two means, the difference between whether these means of two populations are equal or not equal, less than or more than. Then third one we discussed, that is test for population proportion. We speak about proportion there, that is P. Now this is the fourth application where we discuss about test for equality of proportions. Test for equality of two proportions means there will be P1 as well as P2. So firstly we will see what are the procedures, means what are the steps in order to complete the procedure of test for equality of proportions of two populations. Here two populations proportions will be given. Now firstly we will write the procedure or we will write the steps. Now first step as it is we need to write the null hypothesis, that is step 1. What we need to write? Step 1 is nothing but null hypothesis. We need to write there the proportions. The proportions are equal. The population proportions are the population proportions are equal. That means P1 is equal to P2. This is about null hypothesis. Then step 2, that is alternative hypothesis, writing of alternative hypothesis. When we speak about alternative hypothesis, as you know, we have 3 options there. If it is two-tailed test, then it depends upon the problem. We need to frame different alternative hypothesis. If it is one-tailed, in that if it is right-tailed means different and left-tailed means some other kind of alternatives. Now, firstly we will take it as two-tailed, where we take population proportions are the population proportions are not equal. So that means P1 is not equal to P2. P1 is not equal to P2. That means we consider test as two-tailed. Here we consider this test as two-tailed, or else if it is one-tailed. If it is one-tailed, left-tailed, in that one-tailed if it is left-tailed, then your null hypothesis is the first population proportion is less than the second population proportion. Then we need to take P1 is lesser than P2. That means it is left-tailed test. Test is left-tailed. Then next one, or else one more possibility. That is if your test is right-tailed. Then we need to take null hypothesis as the first population proportion is more than second population proportion, is more than second population proportion. Then P1 is greater than P2, so it is right tail test. Test is considered as right tail. Then next we get the third step, step 3, that is test statistic. Now your formula goes like P1 minus P2, P1 minus P2 divided by root PQ, open the bracket, 1 minus N1 plus 1 minus N2. Now here P1 and P2, we have P1 and P2. How to find out the values of P1 and P2? Where like how we need to find out in case of population proportion, where there was one population proportion. So same way here, P1 is equal to x1 by n1, comma P2 is equal to x2 by n2. This is about the proportion, the small letter P1 and P2. Then what about this capital letter P and Q? Now here, this particular P is calculated by x1 plus x2 divided by n1 plus n2, or else sometimes where you get this population, these proportions directly. How we have seen in the population proportion, where when proportion will be given in the form of percentage, where proportion will be given in the form of percentage, then it is not necessary to do x by n, directly we take that value as proportion. So in such case, how to find out P? Why? In the sense there, if they provide proportions directly, you will not be having x values there. Then if you do not have x values, how to find out this P? When you do not have these x values, then you need to go with proportion, that is P1 into n1 plus P2 into n2 divided by n1 plus n2. So this formula is equal to this formula. This is when this x1 and x2 are not given in the problem. We need to go with this particular problem in order to find out P value. And as you know, how to find out Q? Q is nothing but 1 minus P. Q is nothing but 1 minus P. So here you need to know about this formulas. These all formulas you need to know in order to solve the problems. Now, nextly, step 4. Step 4, depending upon level of significance and alternative hypothesis, the table value K is chosen. Table value K is chosen from the table. Then there comes the last step, fifth one. If calculated value lies in the acceptance region, H0 is accepted, otherwise H0 is rejected. Then if calculated value lies in the acceptance region, H0 is, that is null hypothesis is accepted, otherwise H0 is rejected. H0 is rejected. So this is about the procedure, the steps to be followed in order to complete the procedure for test for equality of proportion. This procedure will come for 5 marks. As a theory questions, you need to write this formulas also. And you need to study about this all formulas, when to take this formula and when to take this one. Now further we'll see the problems under test for equality of proportion. Now we'll see the problems under test for population proportions of two population. Now in a random sample of 80 persons from town A, 30 are found to be consumers of wheat. Now here there's a sample of 80 persons. The first sample of 80 persons. From that 80 persons sample, they found that from town A, 30 are found to be consumers of wheat. So they found 30 are found to be consumers of wheat in town A. And one more sample they have taken. In a random sample of 40 persons, another sample they have taken. From that sample, they got from town B, 18 are found to be consumers of wheat. So we need to check that this data reveals a significant difference between proportions of wheat consumers in town A and town B. Now, if we observe, we have here town A and town B, and this is about consumers of wheat. We are checking here consumers of wheat here in town A and town B. And in town A, they checked with 80 samples. 80 samples. In that 80 samples, they found that 30 are consumers of wheat. 30 are consumers of wheat. Another sample they have taken from town B. There they have taken a sample of 40 persons. Out of that 40, they found that 18 are found to be consumers of wheat. Now we need to check there, is there any significant difference between the wheat consumers of town A and town B? Now if you see the formula here, the formula goes like P1 minus P2 divided by root PQ 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2. Now here we need to identify what is a P value and what is P1, P2, then Q1, and also what is the number of observations or the sample number which they have taken. Now if we observe here, if you take the previous method, that is test for population proportion, where you have single population proportion, there your question in a random sample of 80 persons from a town A, 30 are found to be consumers. Then we need to test based on the question. But here we can easily make out that what is this 80% and what is this 30. So from here, out of 80, 30 are favorable to the test, that is a consumer of wheat. So 80 is considered as the sample number 1 and here 40 is sample number 2. Now what is this 30 and 80? Out of this 80, 30 are wheat consumers. So this is X1 and here this 18 is X2. So along with sample, which number or value they will be giving, that value we need to consider as X1 or X2, same like the previous applications. But sometimes what happens in the sense, this 30 and this 18, this 30 and 18 will be in the form of percentage. If you get that 30 and 18 in the form of percentage, then you need to take that value directly as P1 and P2. For example, here in the problem, 30% are wheat consumers and 18% from this sample are wheat consumers. In such case, we cannot take this 30 as X1 and we cannot take this 18% as X2. In such case, we need to take 30 as P1 first proportion and 18 as P2. How we need to take 0.30 and 0.12. These are the direct proportions. These proportions are given. Then, when we get direct proportions are given in the form of percentage, there the calculation of P, that formula also differs. Then usually we have X1 plus X2 divided by N1 plus N2, or else one more formula is given, that is n1 into p1 plus n2 into p2 divided by n1 plus n2. See, here in order to find out this p value, we have two formulas. When to take this formula or when to take this particular formula. When, as I said, when this value if you get in the form of percentage, this 30 and this 18, if you get as percentage, we directly consider it as P1 0.30, 0.18. Directly here we substitute 0.30 and 0.18. In such case, we take this particular formula in order to find out this P, because in this case we don't have the x values, so we need to go with this particular formula, n1 into proportion 1, n2 into proportion 2. But when we have here x values, means 30, when it will be not in percentage, when it will be given in the form of numbers, then we consider this as x1 and x2, like how we got this particular problem. In such case, in order to find out p, we need to take this particular formula, because we know the value of x1 and x2 here, so we need to go with this particular formula in order to find out p. So this is about this particular problem. Now we'll solve this problem. Firstly, write there the given values or known values which they have given in the problem. Write the solution. The values which are given in the problem, their given values are the sample number, the first sample number, n1, we have 80% here, n1 as 80, then x bar 1 is equal to 30, then second sample, there n2 is equal to 40, and from that 40, 18 are going to be consumers of wheat. Then here level of significance they have given as 5%. So level of significance 5%. And if you observe the particular problem, here we cannot find anything more than or less than. So we can easily make out that it is a two-tailed test. And one more thing, when you need to check about significant difference, it's always a two-tailed test. When you need to check about significant difference, it's always two-tailed test. And in case of two-tailed test with checking of significant difference, your null hypothesis is always there is no significant difference. There is no significant difference between the proportions of wheat consumers, between the proportions of wheat consumers in town A and town B. So we have taken this as there is no significant difference. So we need to take here the first proportion is equal to second. First proportion is equal to second, and alternative hypothesis we need to take as there is significant difference. There is significant difference between the proportions of wheat, consumers in town A and town B. So here we need to take, if there is significant difference, means P1 is not equal to P2, so it is two-tailed test. See, one thing remember there, in case of significant difference, it's always null hypothesis is there is no significant difference. Here there is significant difference. See, always alternate that it is equal. In order to make it equal, we need to write the sentence as there is no significant difference. For example, now the marks of two students, marks of student A and marks of student B. The first one, he scored 50 in particular subject, even he scored 50. Now we can question here, is there any significant difference? Is there any significant difference? There is no significant difference. Why? Because it is equal. A and B, it is equal. When it is equal, we need to make it as, we can say that there is no significant difference. So here, null hypothesis, we need to, in case of two tail test or one tail test, null hypothesis should be always equal. In order to make it equal, we need to write a sentence as there is no significant difference. If there is significant difference, what happens? If there is significant difference means it is not equal. If it is not equal, when we need to show as not equal, we need to write that there is significant difference. There is difference between the two population proportions. So in the same way, here we have taken. So always remember, where you get the question like significant difference, you need to write there is no significant difference, and here it is, there is significant difference. Next, write there test statistic. Now write the formula here. Z is equal to P1 minus P2 divided by root PQ 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2. Now firstly we need to find out here P1 and P2. Now take the formula for P1, that is x bar 1 divided by L. See the value there, x bar 1, you have there x bar 1 as 30 and N1 as 80. When you do 30 by 80, then you get 0.375. This is of P1. We got P1 as 0.375. Now find there P2, that is x2 divided by N2. So there x2 value is 18 and N2 value is 40. When you do 18 by 40, you get there 0.45. So we got P2 value as 0.45. Then we require this P. Now find out the P, capital letter P. Which formula? You have there two formulas. One is x1 plus x2. One more is n1 into p1. Now since we did not get proportions directly here, these values are not in percentage, these are in numbers. So we need to take formula, that is x1 plus x2 divided by n1 plus n2. Now what is the value of x1 here? x1 is 30 plus x2 is 18 and divided by n1 plus n2. n1 is 80, n2 is 40. 80 plus 40. So here 30 plus, there we get 48 by 120. 48 by 120, and we get value as 0.4. Then we get p value as 0.4. Nextly, now we got here P1 as 0.35 and P2 as 0.45 and this P as 0.4. If we get P as 0.4, then what is Q? Q is 0.6, that is 1 minus P. How to find out Q there? Q is equal to 1 minus P. 1 minus 0.4, so Q is equal to 0.6. Now substitute into this particular formula. P1, that is 0.375 minus P2 0.45 divided by the root. P value is 0.4 there. Take 0.4 into 0.6, that is the Q value 0.6 Then open the bracket 1 by N1 that is 80 plus 1 by N2 that is 40. Then close the bracket. Now is equal to 0.375 minus 0.45. Then we get minus 0.075. Then we get minus 0.075. Now multiply here 0.4 into 0.6. Then before that 1 by 80 plus 1 by 40. 1 by 80 then plus 1 by 40. Then after adding multiply that answer to 0.4 into 0.6 and which value you will get. Then take the root. After multiplication take the root. Then you get 0.09. You get value as 0.09. Then at the end when you divide it you get value as minus 0.79. Here you get value as minus 0.79. Now you need to take the critical values. If you want you can take here 4 digit also 0.0949, or else you can increase this particular value, or else you can increase it by 1 as 5. Now at 5% level of significance, the critical values are, which are the critical values for 5%? If you check the statistical table, then you get 1.96 and 1.96. So to take 5%, that is 1.96. So we need to take positive 1.96 and negative 1.96. 1.96 and 1.96. Now, what value we have got here? That is 0.79. Whether it is fall in between these two, see, negative 1.96 minus 1 minus 2 here, positive 1, negative 1.96 will fall here, positive 1.96 will fall here. So this is 0.79 will fall in between. So we can accept the null hypothesis. So here since calculated value lies in the acceptance region, therefore null hypothesis is accepted. We accepted that there is no significant difference. So write the conclusion that there is no significant difference between the wheat consumers of town A and B. Significant difference between the wheat consumers of town A and town B. Now, I think with this we can wind up with today's session. Now you have some other kind of problem, as I said, where we get proportions directly in the problem. In this particular problem, you need to study the formulas, how to find out P1, P2, and as well as how to find out P values. And then rest of the things are similar to other application, only what formula is different than other application. So this is the last application. We'll see some other problems under this application. Then we can move to the third unit of statistical inference. Thank you.